We begin our study of arithmetic with the whole numbers. Before we go on and study the things that we can do to these things, let's take a moment just to think about what these things, the whole numbers, actually are. The whole numbers are the ordinary counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, together with the number 0. So these are the numbers that are the first thing we think of when we think, what is a number? And what do we use the whole numbers for typically? Well, we use them to count things. And in particular, we use them to count whole things. We might be counting things that it doesn't make any sense to divide up, like trucks or children or planets. Or we might be just counting things that we don't want to divide up. We might be talking about miles in a long trip. We don't care about part of a mile. Or we might be talking about cheeseburgers when we're running a restaurant, and we're not going to serve anyone part of a cheeseburger. Now, there are a number of understandings of the whole numbers we're going to use. The first one we're going to use is this counting understanding. So we'll understand the number 7, for example, represents 7 things. We might draw little boxes. We might think of it as 7 clocks, 7 ornithopters. It doesn't matter, at least for the moment. There's another way we're going to think about the number 7, though. We can think of the whole numbers as arranged along a line that starts at 0 at the left and goes on forever off to the right. We're going to see more of this line soon. This line is called the number line. And so in addition to representing 7 things, we can think of the number 7 as representing this point. We can also think of the number 7 as representing this distance, the distance where we move 7 spaces to the right along the number line. One of the things that I'd like to call attention to about each of these representations is when the number 7 represents 7 things, it doesn't matter particularly what the things are, but they should all be the same thing. If we say we have 7 people, all 7 things should be people. If we say we have 7 boxes, all 7 things should be boxes. Similarly, on the number line, these points are equally distant from one another. The distance from 0 up to 1 is the same as the distance from 1 up to 2, is the same as the distance from 5 up to 6, and so on. If we were to extend the number line further, the distance from 985 to 986 would be that same distance. There are some relationships between whole numbers that we're going to want to describe. We say that 2 whole numbers are equal if they represent the same point on the number line. So again, looking at our number line, we see that 7 equals 7. Not terribly interesting at the moment, since right now we only know one way to describe this number 7. We say that one whole number is greater than another if it represents a point further to the right on the number line. So, for example, in this picture we see that 7 is greater than 3. On the other hand, we say that one number is less than another if it represents a point further to the left. So again, on our number line, we see that 2 is less than 5. These 3 symbols we're going to use for the moment without any more consideration than that. We'll think a little bit more carefully about what these symbols mean later on. Greater than and less than symbols sometimes cause some confusion. They become intuitive as you get used to them. For the moment, you can think, and I know this sounds silly, but this is how I thought of these for years and years. The alligator eats the bigger number. The opening on the greater than sign is toward the larger number. Larger number is greater than smaller number. The opening on the less than sign is again toward the larger number. Smaller number is less than larger number. So that's a convenient way to remember which of these is which. If you're having trouble with these terms, think greater means bigger, right? Less means, well, less, like 15 items or less at the grocery store. Right, so if the sentence makes sense, 2 is less than 5. Well, that's what symbol you have on your hands.